Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story, and I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
I am that dude, Bodkins.
If DP lost it, beef. Yeah.
Right. Where he's wondering, he's like, I
Patty to patty.
One style, like no weight classes.
Yeah, basically, like I said, there's been a couple guys that are like,
It's ridiculous. No way. There's nobody else out there. He's your guy.
That's just not my mentality, bro.
Yeah. Leave the ladder down. That's my always like, hey, somebody helped you out. Why not help somebody else out? Return.
Give a big round of applause for the one and only Bodkins Show.
Bring counsel down the interstate. In a move unexpected. I have people.
I'm going to repeat that again, folks. I didn't stutter. Welcome to the Bodkins Show.
Good. Oh, watch the intro playing. Oh, there it goes. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another great episode of the Bodkins Show. I'm your host, Bodkins. This is our weekly dump episode. And I'm going to dump this right out first thing in the morning. You guys, when it comes to these politics, why do you care what your favorite athlete is, who they're voting for, or if they're voting for one specific person? Like, you know what? I'm no longer a fan of them. I can't support this person because they're voting for Trump or they're voting for Kamala Harris. Why do you care? Like, that's not their job. If they're what they're willing to do, and they're voting for this person, you're no longer a fan, and you're like, oh my God, I gotta change my then you're probably voting for all the wrong reasons. What are we doing here? And you can't tell me you're watching Tuesday night at the whether you watched it or not, and be like, you know what, these are the two smartest people in the United States to run this country. No, it's not. And then you're gonna be like, oh, you know what, I can no longer support X athlete because they're a Trump supporter or they're this supporter. Why do you fucking care? We used to keep all that shit private, like voting and all that stuff, like your politics and who your stuff was voting. That used to be so private. We never even talked about it. And now everybody talks about it, and everybody's got to choose a fucking side. We're fucking, Duke, North Carolina going at it at basketball. Why are we you don't got to you got to vote. You should vote, I feel like, but you shouldn't degrade somebody because they think differently or this person. So I had to dump that out because man, first of all, I hate fucking politics in general, but I hate the people the most that are like, you shouldn't Caitlin Clark because she liked a post where Taylor Swift supported Kamala Harris, or you shouldn't like Patrick Mahomes' wife because she supports Trump. Who gives? I don't give a fuck what they think. All I want is their product on the field. That's what I care about. I only care about what they do on and off on the court. And then they're good people off the court. Stop judging. We should only judge people by their character and how they treat people, not who the fuck they vote for. And they're not going to lose a fan of me because they voted because they think differently than me. It's the world, yo. We all think differently, and that's okay. It's okay to think differently. It's okay to have different opinions. We shouldn't ridicule each other because we have different opinions. Anyway, I had to get that off my chest. Been holding that in for a little bit. A guy who, this is the Morning Dump Show, and I'm always joined by, Johnny Cruz, or we could call it the Hurt Quarterback Show because both our quarterbacks are hurt because on Thursday night, I've been waiting to ask him. I haven't really even texted him about the situation because I wanted to get it firsthand. But, welcome our guy, always, Mr. Johnny Cruz.
What's going on, bro? That's an excellent way to start the Sunday dump. Always happy to be here. As far as what you were touching on, I'm completely with you. That's why when I was doing the Johnny Cruz show, that was the two things that I won't touch on the show is religion and politics. Because you can't have, you're frozen on my end, by the way.
Am I? You can hear me, but you can't see me.
I can hear you, but you just got a still picture there. But I guess to the audience, it's just a black screen. So that's what Scott's saying. But yeah, it's politics and religion because it's different now. You know what I'm saying? And my thought process with that was always everybody has their religious beliefs, everybody has their political standing, to each their own. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? You do you, I do me. You know what I'm saying? Because that discussion never leads to anything positive unless you are of the same mind. You know what I'm saying? The same thought process. If you have a different opinion, now there's no civilized and just adult debate where you can just have your own opinion about something and people just get along and okay, cool. You say that's your opinion, just keep it moving. Now it's what I'm saying, if you don't agree with me, well, I hate you and your mom stinks and your saying your sister's ugly and all this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like it gets too personal, and like you mentioned, people not wanting to support entertainers or athletes because of their political beliefs. Like to me, that's their own damn business. You know what I'm saying? If you like the music or if you like the way they play, that shouldn't matter. But nah, man, it's gotten so bad to where like families are breaking apart and stuff like that because of their political beliefs and stuff like that. So it's just, what I'm saying, I don't discuss that shit at all because it never leads to anything productive in my opinion. So I'm glad that you set that out there first. You know what I'm saying that's a good dump to have. First thing on a Sunday morning.
Yeah, definitely. Let me. We got to dump the Tua situation out. Obviously, Thursday. Did not go. He wasn't already playing well, so But then to think he was Jim Brown or somebody trying to run through the A gap and run through Damar Hamlin, and he gets concussion. There's a lot of talk that maybe he should retire. I don't. That's up to him. That's one of them things that's going to be up to him and his family. We know that CTE and the all that is real. We know the long-standing effects of concussions, but that's kind of up to him. But I wanted to get your thoughts on the Dolphins kind of going forward and Tua. What's your perspective on it?
Well, first of all, thank you for not harassing me since Thursday about how disgusting the team played even before that bad incident with Tua. That's the sad part, is that it wasn't even like a massive hit, bro. Like he just put his head down into homeboy's chest and then just, you know what I'm saying? But that's the unfortunate part of if you already have had concussions, it can happen on an easy play like that. There's a lot of opinions and judgments going on right now, which again, that's, you know what I'm saying? Everybody has an opinion now, you know what I'm saying? Especially with social media, everybody can get their opinion out there and say whatever the hell they want to say without any consequence. When it comes to somebody retiring off of injury, I mean, we had this discussion in 2022 towards the end of that season. People talking about he should just retire. He's a grown man, even though he's a kid. I mean, I call him a kid. Two of my kids are his age or older.
He's still got a young life to live.
Yeah, he's a young man. He has 2 young children. He's married. He's got a family. So he has to weigh all that stuff in. But at the same time, the difference, unfortunately, I was talking to Jonathan. Shout out to my son Jonathan last night about it. The unfortunate thing about Tua is that both of the times it's been on prime TV on Thursday night, where he's the only game on. So everybody's watching, and there's nothing else to talk about for the next couple of days because it's not like there were a bunch of other games. But people get concussed all the time. Whether he chooses to retire or not, again, that's completely his decision. You know what I'm saying? I just want the kid to be happy and healthy and, you know what I'm saying, whatever, as far as the team comes secondary as far as his situation. Me as a Dolphin fan, well, they look like shit the whole that was an embarrassment, bro.
That's how they get the fraud fins. That's how you're fraudulent.
Yeah, and I can honestly, I can't argue it. I can't debate it. I can't say shit. I just gotta, you know what I'm saying? I just gotta deal with it. They came out soft. Buffalo is not, you know what I'm saying, top to bottom. If you look at the rosters, I don't think, you know what I'm saying, they have a better roster than we do, but clearly they have the better quarterback. And up to this point, they have the better head coach. They were more prepared. They were tougher than we were, you know what I'm saying, on Thursday. And you know what I'm saying, Tua was playing like shit even before that, he got injured or whatever. But I don't think Mike McDaniel had a good day as far as his game planning and his overall, saying
1-11 Mike McDaniel is against winning teams.
Yeah, that's not a good look. You know what I'm saying? So that's obviously something that needs to change. And again, I'm not, you got people. He just got an extension. You got people, Dolphin, especially Dolphin. Like, I'm sorry, I'm gonna dump this off my chest. Yeah. Dolphin fans, like you guys are some of the pettiest little bitch asses that just want to whine about every fucking thing that I've ever heard in my entire life. You know what I'm saying? Like I've always, as a Yankee fan, I've always complained, or I've always said the worst thing about being a Yankee fan are Yankee fans, because they're spoiled ass fans that are just, you know what I'm saying, they have this one mindset. And granted, that was George Steinbrenner's, process of, you either win or it's a the season doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You always had Yankee fans complaining about, we need to trade for this guy and that guy. We need to go buy this guy. So that always aggravated me. But the whining from the Dolphin fans, and again, I'm with you because I've been a Dolphin fan for the majority of my life, and it's been a lot of misery, especially the last 24 years. But the fact that you're saying it's like fire everybody, trade everybody now, and just it's week 2, man. And you're talking about watching college football and who we need to draft next year. Like, damn, bro. Like,
well, some of those Miami fans, those Dolphin fans, might be Florida State fans and Gator fans, so they just hate football right now.
And that's yes, and thank God for the Canes, the U baby, and Cam Ward,
the whole state of Florida right now.
Absolutely, bro. Like without the Miami Hurricanes right now, like the whole football season could just be a total dumpster fire. So, but Dolphin fans, like, come on, you say yes, it sucks, it's a bad situation, but it should be team first. You know what I'm saying? That's the one thing that I've noticed since Tua got drafted is there's a lot of Tua fans that pretend to be Dolphin fans. You know what I'm saying? They're Tua fans from Alabama or whatever, which is fine if you want to root on the Dolphins, but you're saying if you're a Dolphin fan, you're going to support the Dolphins regardless. You're saying after going through the 1-16 or 1-15 season, you can deal with whatever comes up next. If Mike McDaniel is worth even a little bit, he'll try to come up with something this year. You know what I'm saying? We got to figure something out, but there's still 15 games left, and for people to talk about, we need to go get Ryan Tannehill or try to get Tom Brady out of the booth, like shut up with some of these suggestions, bro. Like it's an embarrassment. Like Miami Dolphin fans are embarrassing, bro. It's embarrassing to be a Dolphin fan sometimes, for real. When you see some of this shit on social media and stuff. Just had to get that out there. But please check out the Dolphin show tomorrow night at 7:30.
Scott said he's tired of seeing everyone on Twitter being a doctor and giving a diagnosis of Tua and what he should do, and Tua should be back if ever. Stop passing diagnosis, let the man recover. Right. Yeah. I don't want to call for him to retire, or that's a him situation again. Like it, you want the best for him going forward. There he's only going to play football a little bit, a shorter time, but so you want to, when he's 40, you know what I'm saying? Like to be fully cognitive, you don't want to see a Muhammad Ali situation or somebody, you know what I mean? So we know the effects. But it is scary because he's had 5 or 6, even back in college, his last college game, he got a concussion.
When he had that bad injury,
was healthy. Healthy last year, you know what I mean? And then the year before that, he had, pretty much 3 concussions. The concussion against Green Bay shut him down for the year. You just take your time and you just hope he's okay. And come back when all the doctors say like, hey, this is it, and maybe he just is susceptible to concussions. Like there are different people who are, everybody's built differently, and unfortunately, he plays a sport where if he's gets a lot of concussions, it could lead to long-term effects.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, the unfortunate thing is that the 2 major ones were on primetime TV, so everybody saw them. So you know what I'm saying. But there's a ton of guys that are getting concussed every game, so it happens a lot. But again, just like you said, I want the kid to be good long term. Whatever decision he decides to make is fine. I would hate to be in the Dolphins' shoes because whatever decision they make, it's going to be a PR nightmare. Because even if the doctors and the NFL and everybody clears him in a couple weeks, there's still going to be some people to be like, oh, you don't care about him if you're throwing him out. If he decides he wants to play and he gets cleared by all the doctors, then who the hell are we to say whether or not he should play or not?
Exactly. Let him play.
Know what I'm saying? So let him play. So for all the people that are going to want to hate on the Dolphins and say, oh, they don't care about their play. I mean, Mike McDaniel is one of the more player-friendly coaches that I've ever, witnessed in my life. It may be even a detriment, but let's hope not. You know what I'm saying? But he definitely cares about his players, especially his relationship with Tua. So he's not going to put him out there to get hurt. So I hope that you're saying that if he decides he wants to continue playing, and once he gets cleared by the doctors, I expect him to want to continue to play, but it's obviously his decision. But like everybody, you can have an opinion, but the people that are saying that he needs, yes, please keep Tannehill away from our team, please, bro. I mean, the dude, bro, like he would not be successful in this offense at all. He wasn't successful in a bland, regular old offense. And we don't have Derrick Henry. We got some good running backs, but we don't have Derrick Henry behind him to hand the ball off 30 times.
Is it Skylar Thompson time? I mean, for the rest of the way?
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, that's the decision they decided to go with in camp. I wouldn't be surprised, depending on what the diagnosis is on Tua, and if it's going to be 3, 4, 5 weeks. I don't know.
Do you call like Jimmy Garoppolo or somebody like that? I mean,
I'd rather. I mean, Jimmy G.
2 games, so you could sign him now, and then that gives them a little bit more time. To get
there's other guys out there. The Russell Wilson thing. I want to say I mentioned it last week when we were talking about the Steelers, that I wouldn't mind him being in South Beach and backing up Tua, and I didn't realize that it was going to be something that would be. That's your own fault. Shit, yeah, don't put that on me, bro. I'll get bombarded by Tua fans and shit saying that I did that. But I wouldn't be mad at that. I mean, I think Russell Wilson would be, would at least be able to, I would hope, be able to run the offense. And there's still weapons there. There's still a lot of good players. I mean, even like a Case Keenum, who has experience in these types of offenses. I know people are throwing out the Jimmy G thing out there. I mean, whatever. If they can get him for a 7th round pick, then why not?
Jimmy's a free agent, I believe.
I thought he was with somebody.
Is he?
I thought he was, but I could be wrong. I mean, he could be. He could be chilling at the beach somewhere, just chilling right now. For all we know, he's made his money, so he's chilling. But I would assume that they're gonna sign some type of a veteran. With experience in the offense, I would figure that's the route that they go. But I wouldn't be mad at,
Oh, I guess Jimmy's on the Dolphins. I take that back. Or on the Rams. I'm sorry.
Okay, yeah, there you go. So that's a similar offense there. So the only thing is, our team's gonna try to take advantage of the Dolphins because they're so desperate right now. Like, don't pay a 3rd round pick or a 2nd round pick for no Jimmy G. Like 5, 6, 7. Is understandable. So I mean, it makes sense, but I'm sure they're they have some time until next Sunday in Seattle to figure out, so they don't have to do it right this minute. I'm sure they're working behind the scenes right now to try to figure something out. They're gonna have to come up with something in the meantime anyway. So if you're gonna get somebody, don't get somebody to just keep a chair warm. Get somebody that can actually compete with Skylar to either push him further to make some starts, or can at least be a comparable, replacement if Skylar just completely shits the bed.
Yeah, Scott says, you see Mike McDaniel walking off the field with Tua. He does care about all of his players and is emotional. This also the Tyreek thing. I don't see McDaniel walking off. He's going to continue to coach.
Oh yeah, Mike McDaniel. No, he's just talking about when Tua was walking off the field, how he gave him a kiss on the head and shit. Like, he cares about Tua a lot. He cares about Tua a lot. So he's not going to put him out there.
I didn't read anything into that other than good coach. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. He cares about the kid and he wants the kid to be okay. You know what I'm saying? But we also need to, as far as that, touching on that, people talking about he needs to be fired. Like, again, this is only his 3rd season. Can we calm down? I know.
I told you before the season I thought he would be on the hot seat, but then they gave him the extension.
No. I don't think he needs to be on the hot seat. Like I said, we can't keep every 3 years going to a new coach. Like, you got to let this shit, you got to let it brew and just,
but sometimes you need that person that can go over. I mean, we've seen it not work, and we've seen it work in different situations, right? Like, you look at Tampa Bay back in the day, like they kept running out Tony Dungy, and then eventually they went
right. But they actually stuck with Tony Dungy for a bit, and he developed and he created what he created, and then he just couldn't get over the top.
Yeah,
there. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Mike McDaniel is a first-time head coach, and he's gotten better as far as his style. He's proved. I mean, even in the first game against Jacksonville, it wasn't the greatest looking game, but he actually made some adjustments at halftime, and the offense did some better things in the second half. So again, he can still And again, this is an opportunity for him to show his coaching chops. You know what I'm saying? Your quarterback is down. What do you do? What kind of game plans do you come up with? You know what I'm saying? To move forward, to try to, because there's still some winnable games on, you know what I'm saying, on their schedule. You know what I'm saying? We're just gonna have to see what we're made of now, and it's gonna take the defense is gonna have to step it up and play well. And the skill, we still got Tyreek and Waddle, you know what I'm saying? So you gotta come up with ways to get these guys the ball quickly and see what we can do. But
let me ask you, what games today are you looking forward to? As we kind of look forward to the rest of NFL week 2. I'm personally kind of was looking at the Bucs-Lions game. I think is interesting. That was a great playoff game last year. I mean, the way Baker spun it last, I know it was against the Commanders, but 4 touchdowns. He looked incredible. He's got the weapons. Detroit, obviously, Super Bowl aspirations. I'm also intrigued kind of by the Jags Browns. I know that's weird. I need to see something from Deshaun. Like other than my Packers, obviously, but those early games right there are the games I'm kind of interested in. Bengals Chiefs, I think, will be a good one too in the later slate.
Yeah, I'm glad you went first on that one because I haven't even really looked at it. I wish your boy was healthy because that Colts Packers game would be fun to watch with 2 young quarterbacks there. Are the Saints actually for real and as good as they looked in week 1, or is Carolina that bad?
I'm not buying.
No. I'm not buying them to be that good, but I'm just saying let's see what they do going down to Dallas. Dallas could be just as fraudulent as well. You never know with them. The Jags Brown one. I mean, Jets time. I mean, the Buccaneers Lions one is the best one at the 1:00 games from what I can see here. Raiders Ravens. But Jets. Jets and Sam's Titans could be interesting. You know what I'm saying? Did the Jets get off the mat after that week 1 loss to San Francisco? But yeah, Bengals Chiefs is definitely the game to watch. And then I think you picked it. You hit it on the head. Bengals Chiefs and Bucks Lions are probably the 2 most intriguing ones. It is definitely going to be a red zone day today at 1:00. Thankfully, that's the good thing about when your team doesn't play. You know what I'm saying, on Sunday.
Yeah,
you can just throw in a red zone and just watch the best parts of each game and stuff like that. So, but yeah, if I had to pick, I would probably say Bengals Chiefs. Like the Bengals need to rebound quick. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I know it's a long season. You don't want to go down 0-2, but they could really say something here. Is Joe Burrow really that hurt?
Yeah, it was. Some of it is like, was this team that bad? Like they can't play as bad as like you want to see. Like, are they going to improve from last week? Like they got beat down by the Patriots last week.
Right. At home.
Can you bounce back from that loss? Like you said with the Jets, can they bounce back? I mean, some of those other ones, I feel like, Saints, Cowboys, like you said, like are the Saints like, they beat down, you know what I mean? They beat down the Panthers, but can they give the Cowboys a game or maybe even win that game would be interesting to me. So, but yeah, that's kind of where I'm at as well. So as far as like just interesting storylines, the Sunday night game, Bears Texans, Caleb Williams, like can he get off like what last week only throwing for 99 yards against the Titans defense? What's he going to do against a pretty good Texans defense, a team that also has Super Bowl aspirations in Houston? So that game will be kind of somewhat interesting. So a couple good could be potential games. This guy says, "Oh, come on, they're playing the juggernaut Patriots." Jacoby Brissett. I don't think so. I'm not Bodkins Brissett here, Patriots.
And that's this shit is like we're pointing out ones that we think should be entertaining, but then again, it's football, so like any of these games can wind up being a lot of fun. That's the great thing about the NFL, about football. But I'm with you. Those are the 3 ones. Yeah, that Sunday night one should be an interesting one. Right after our show tonight, so that'll be fun. Bears Texans, can that Bears offense do anything against this seems to be stacked Texas team, man? It should be fun.
I said this on Thursday. How the Bucks are 8-point dogs? Like, man, that's just a lot at the way they played on. And I know it was week 1 against the Commanders. Like, man, they looked really good. Like Baker, when he is on like that, and they have so many weapons in Tampa Bay with Godwin and
Mike Evans.
yeah, and White. Like that team, that's a pretty good team in the AFC or NFC South.
They haven't been getting much respect a lot, since Baker got there. I mean, they did some pretty good things last year too, and we talked about them some last week. I like, I like the coach. They're well coached. They're going to be prepared. They're going to play good defense. And I know last year Lions were everybody's choice to go far. And yes, they got to the NFC title game. Cool. But it's still the Detroit Lions. So we still got to see, what they're really made of. So for them to be an 8-point favorite, that does seem a bit much.
Real quick, we got some breaking news here. Tua Tagovailoa has no plans to retire. Sources say he's already begun seeing concussion specialists and will continue to do so. There is no timetable to return, but Tua will be back when he and his doctors deem him healthy and ready. So they hope to be back in the near future. So
good. So everybody can shut the hell up with the whole retire. You know what I'm saying? And again,
Plan B, like that's his choice. You know what I mean? That's his.
Yes. Let the man live. Again, unfortunately, it's a very violent physical game. There's a lot of guys that are constantly getting concussed. Again, this kid his 2 times happened to be on primetime TV, no other games on, so the whole world saw it. So, you know what I'm saying? And he's already a lightning rod for people to talk about anyway. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm glad that he announced it. When he announced it, now I'm just, you know what I'm saying?
Get healthy.
Get healthy. We'll see when you get back. They actually have an early bye this year. I think it's week 5 or 6. It's week 6. So maybe he comes back week 7. I believe it's at Indianapolis. So you're saying shove him for a few weeks, get better. You're saying get your head straight, get cleared by the doctors, and we'll see in a few weeks. Hopefully, again, we'll find out about Mike McDaniel. I have faith in him. I want him to be successful. Obviously, not just because I'm a Dolphin fan, but I'm a Mike McDaniel fan. He seems like a good dude. Yeah, he obviously cares about the players. He's smart as hell, sometimes too smart for his own good. But you know what I'm saying? Let's find out some of your coaching chops now. You know what I'm saying? Your QB1 is now.
Winnable, like the next 3 weeks are winnable.
They go to Seattle. They go to Seattle. They got Tennessee at home on Monday night. Then they got New England. Then they got New England, and then the bye week.
And then you got the Colts coming out the bye week.
Right.
You know what I mean? And the Cardinals after that. Like those aren't like I'm not saying Skylar Thompson's going to light the world on.
No, but you know what I'm saying? Hold it down.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
You got enough talent. They got enough talent on that team where hopefully, you know what I mean, on both sides of the ball to be like, well, the season's not lost. Like, just don't lose us the game. Like, that's all you're going to ask Skylar Thompson. Don't lose us.
Absolutely. And I mean, he's also the same kid that, you know what I'm saying, his rookie year, he's in his 3rd year of this offense. And his rookie season, he went up to Buffalo in that playoff game, and he almost shocked Buffalo. So he does have some skill. He does have some ability, you know what I'm saying? Obviously, he ain't going to just be slinging it all over the place like crazy, but, you know what I'm saying? Yes, Scott. You know what I'm saying? Like, in the words of the great Aaron Rodgers, you know what I'm saying? Relax.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's week 2, you know what I'm saying? But I'm glad. Thank you for reading that breaking news. I'm happy to hear that he's decided to continue playing, and I hope he gets the best treatment possible.
Yeah, Johnny, you mentioned put some respect on people's name. Well, put some damn respect. Cheryl Swoops, put some damn respect on Caitlin Clark's name, will you? Because it was tweeted like earlier in the year, it was tweeted out Caitlin could lead the league in assist, and she put a laughing emoji underneath that tweet. Well, guess what? The girl lead the league in assist. She broke the damn assist record as a rookie. Put some damn respect on Caitlin Clark's name, Cheryl. Like, y'all should be, again, we've talked about this multiple times. Like, these old heads in the league need to start praising what this girl is doing, what this team is doing, all these rookies are doing. But damn it, like, she is absolutely killing it. The Fever make the playoffs. We got about a week left here, Johnny, in the WNBA, about week 2 weeks. Thoughts on the Caitlin Clark? Asia Wilson, I think, does have the MVP wrapped up. She took your notice of you're saying she shouldn't be MVP, or maybe and she broke the points record. So there's that. So she is going to be MVP. But thoughts on the WNBA right now?
Well, I'm glad you brought this up. I'm enjoying it. I'm completely with you as far as, you know what I'm saying, people put in some respect on CC's name. You know, Caitlin Clark has been so much fun to watch. I'm a big fan of WNBA. I was disappointed and surprised by the level of hate and gatekeeping that it seemed to be by the older heads in the WNBA. Not wanting to show this next generation of players love like the NBA does. You know, say like the NBA, they always talk good about the young kids that are coming in and give them their props and stuff like that. The WNBA went completely the other way with it. If you didn't go to Connecticut or whatever school, you know what I'm saying, like if you ain't part of their clique, you know what I'm saying, like they just don't want to hear it or whatever. But that particular tweet that you're talking about was actually from Dejanay Carrington, the girl that, you know what I'm saying, there was issue with Nalissa Smith, who's on Caitlin's team, and they had a relationship beforehand, all the drama. That's the same girl. So that was a very sarcastic tweet that she put out there. You know what I'm saying? When she put it out there.
Yeah.
And that's why, you know what I'm saying, that's why Cheryl Swoops, you know, laughed at it. And even Alyssa Thomas, who had led the league, who had the previous record, was like, come on now, or something like that, you know, whatever, like basically trying to like, you know, poo-poo it or whatever. And now look. You know what I'm saying? She broke the damn record.
Y'all got all y'all got egg on your face.
Absolutely. And it's so great to see. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like I said, the WNBA is going to have to take a look at itself. Adam Silver, because they actually pay a lot of the WNBA. Like they're going to have to figure some stuff out as far as the referees and stuff like that, because the officiating is horrendous. Like they're under such a bigger microscope now that she's brought so many eyes to the league, that not only is there opportunity for growth for all these women to make so much more money and stuff like that, but like there's a lot of eyeballs on it. So all these stupid ass mistakes that these refs are making, coaches are making, players are doing, like it's all visible now. So you guys are all going to have to step your game up, including the actual commissioner of the WNBA. She said some stupid shit, you know, talking about Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. Well, I don't know exactly what she said, so I'm not going to try to quote her, but she said some off the wall comments or whatever that half the league is upset at her or whatever now. So you guys wanted to get paid more for your sport to be lifted. This young lady is doing it. I'm gonna give Angel Reese her props, and this rookie class has been really good. Micaiah Jackson in LA is balling. So there's some good rookies, but let's not act like it ain't Caitlin Clark that has literally lifted up this league. So yes, give her respect, her props, and it's gonna be fun to see them in the playoffs. Yeah, which they got two games left, so I believe the playoffs start a week from today.
Yeah. Is New York? I mean, New York right now, 31-6. I mean, them and Minnesota,
they're loaded.
The two best teams. The Aces have kind of righted the ship a little bit. The back-to-back champs, but they can pull from their experience.
Right.
But man, like like I said, Las Vegas 7-3 their last 10. So since they've kind of righted the ship a little bit when they after the break. But New York 8-2 in their last 10, won 5 in a row. Minnesota 9-1, won 5 in a row. Like in their last 10, won 5 in a row. So it'll be interesting how this plays. I think the top 8 make the playoffs, right? So Washington and Chicago both kind of right there. Both got losing records. They'll probably be one and done. Obviously I'm a Fever fan, so just because obviously of Caitlin Clark, and had she, I probably wouldn't be much of a fan of hers if she hadn't gone to Iowa. But hey,
it is what it is, though. You know what I'm saying? Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I mean, I'm a Don Mattingly fan because I'm a Yankee born and raised in New York. You know what I'm saying? And but yet somehow I'm a Dolphin fan because of Dan Marino. But right. I mean, but I'm with you. The Liberty have been the best team all season. They are stacked. Brianna Stewart, Jocko Jones came over free agency last year, and they made it to the finals, having been the first year that they played together against those defending champion Aces. They lost to the Aces, who won back-to-back, but they seem like their chemistry is just has built up a lot in the one off season that they really had together, and they have been steamrolling all year. So yes, I'm excited about the New York Liberty. The Minnesota Lynx, you know what I'm saying, don't get it twisted. Nafisa Collier she's an Olympian. She's one of the best players in the league. That team right there is really good, Minnesota. So, but the Aces look like they've righted the ship a little bit. So it's gonna be interesting to see what happens in the playoffs. But whoever plays, you know what I'm saying, Indiana better be ready. I don't know what the matchup is right now.
That's what
Who's number
I was
three?
trying to pull that up right now. Okay.
Yeah, it might be Connecticut. Might be
Yeah.
number 3.
So do they just do 1 through 8? Is that how they seed them?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So it would be Connecticut. It would be.
Okay, so that's that again. That's the Dejanay Carrington. That's the Alyssa Thomas, who she just broke her record with the assist. You know what I'm saying? So that's a lot of storylines in that one there. That'll be an interesting matchup. And yeah, I don't remember what the season thing. I think it might have been like 3-1. Connecticut might have won the season series, or it might even be 2-2. But that's going to be a fun series right there, and like that. And hopefully the officials are on point because, bro, they miss a lot of shit, bro. So
Yeah.
it's going to be interesting to see. But the playoffs should be fun. So if you're a basketball fan, definitely check out the WNBA playoffs coming up. Again, they start a week from today. They're finishing off the season this week with I think each team has like maybe 2 or 3 games left. So it should be fun, man. It's gonna be interesting to see what she can do in the playoffs. Hopefully she. You know what I'm saying? I want her to just go nuts in the fucking playoffs, bro.
Me too. Get to if she got to the conference finals or something like that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Then what are they gonna say?
Yeah. Speaking of seasons ending, we got about 2 weeks left of baseball. Johnny Judge is he was in a slump. Did hit the grand slam the other night, but is Bobby Witt Jr. now the favorite to win this MVP, or is it still Aaron? Is it still Aaron Judge?
I think it should still be Aaron Judge. I mean, I would have to like dive into it to look at the numbers, but I mean,
so I'm looking at the numbers right now. So Bobby Witt has leads the league in batting average, 333. Judge at 321. Now, obviously, Judge far much home run. In the home run and RBIs really, but Bobby Witt leads the league in hits. You know what I mean? So, and you got to think, right? Like, what team? I mean, both of them mean so much to their team. You know what I mean? But where would the Royals be without Bobby Witt Jr.? I think the Yankees would probably still be somewhere. You know what I mean? Somewhere.
Yeah, they'd be somewhere. They wouldn't be 2 games ahead of Baltimore without Aaron Judge, especially with having all the injuries with the pitching staff. I still think it's Aaron Judge. I love what Bobby Witt has done. If they somehow were able to steal that division from the Guardians, then maybe, you know what I'm saying, you can make a better case for him. He's definitely number 2. But again, you know what I'm saying, if he was still batting 340 something and Judge had dipped down to the 3, you know what I'm saying, but like he's literally 12 points ahead of him for batting average, and that's it. Judge has him in every other category that there is, you know what I'm saying? So I would still go with Judge as number 1. There's like 15 games left or something like that, a couple weeks left, like you mentioned. So Bobby Witt can go nuts these next 2 weeks. I mean, they're 7-3 already in their last 10, so they've played well, even in the series that they just played against us. So he's definitely fun to watch, man. I mean, that kid is gonna be a good player for a long time. I'm glad that Kansas City was able to lock him up.
Yeah, and we were all said like, what was he thinking? And he obviously, him and his agent know more. I said, what was he thinking? Because I wouldn't want to sign a long-term extension in Kansas City. But it seems like Kansas City is kind of committed to winning. They're finally building that thing back up after over a decade of since the World Series and not making the playoffs. I'm looking at these standings with 2 weeks to go, man. In every division, really, I think Houston's kind of got it locked up in the West, but you got the Yankees, Baltimore battling out. Kansas City only 3 back here of the Guardians. And then you look in the National League, it's pretty much over. The Padres are 3.5 behind the Dodgers. So, you got about 3 good races. 4 good races. The National League, Milwaukee's sewn it up. I believe Philly's sewn it up. You're not coming back. Obviously 8 to play, 11 back. For either one of those teams, but 3.5. If there's a team that you are picking right now, as with 2 weeks left, which team are you saying, hey, I'm going to hedge my bet this team can make up the ground and win the division?
Oh my God, as a division, and then I'd have to go with Kansas City. I'd have to go Kansas City. That's the only one that You know what I'm saying? That's within striking distance. Of course, Baltimore as well can, you know what I'm saying, can easily with, I believe we
I feel
have
like every time I look at the standings, Baltimore and the Yankees flip flop. You know what I mean? One
right,
goes,
right. So
one will win 7 of the last 10. The other one will lose 5. You know what I mean? 6. It will
right,
be
yeah,
6-10 in the last 10 or something. Or 6-4
yeah.
the last.
Yeah,
And
you're right on point with that. As far as New York and Baltimore, all season has kind of been back and forth. We mentioned this before. Baltimore had a great opportunity when when the Yankees were struggling in July to pull away. They weren't able to do it, and now what I'm saying, the last 10, the Yankees are 6-4. Even with Judge and Soto kind of struggling, they still went 6-4. Baltimore winds up going 4-6, and that's how we got the two game lead, the 2-game lead there. That one. Besides that one, which is, I could definitely see Baltimore. We could play them in a 3-game series. I think we have one more 3-game series with them. They could fucking sweep us, and boom, all of a sudden they're in first place. But if anybody really realistically, I would say probably the Royals. I would assume the Royals. I would hope that they have one more series with Cleveland before the season ends. But
let's take a look who they got. I
like
don't
I
think
said,
so.
Kansas
No,
City.
they don't. They got the Tigers, the Giants, the Nationals, and the Braves. And the Braves are playing for stuff too. So
right. So I mean that it could come down to that last series. Is it with the Braves there to see what happens? But the Guardians haven't been playing well the last 10 games either. 5-5 the last 10. So
yeah, they got a little bit.
If they keep on playing 500 baseball these last 2 weeks, and Kansas City, like I said, then I can see people wanting to give it to Bobby Witt. You know what I'm saying? If the Royals, I'm trying to do math real quick, 149. So there's 13 games left. So I mean, if they won like 10-3, 11-2 in the last, 13, and he goes nuts and they overtake Cleveland for the division, I can see that. I can see people wanting to give it to Bobby Witt Jr. as far as the MVP. But as of right now, I would go with Aaron Judge. And as far as a team that can catch somebody, I'm sorry, Sam, but yeah, I think the Guardians could get got in that Central Division.
I think it's probably your Yankees. Like if I was going to buy a team I was probably buying the Orioles just because they've been back and forth, like we said. I was looking at the Guardians schedule. Their schedule, they have the Twins, the Cardinals, the Reds. So like the Cardinals, Reds, favorable matchup. And then the Astros. But the last series of the Astros have everything kind of sewn up by then anyway. So, they kind of have a favorable schedule, the Guardians do.
Yeah, but I mean, Baltimore, Baltimore could, Baltimore, the Orioles, the Astros could be playing for some type of seat positioning there as far as, I don't know if, they could be battling Cleveland for the top, that last spot there.
Yeah, for the three. Because Cleveland 5 games ahead of them though.
Right, Cleveland, but that's what I'm saying. It would have to be kind of Cleveland kind of poo-pooing the bed. But it could come down to those 3 games where if Houston sweeps them, they take over that spot. You know what I mean? Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see what happens there at the end there. That's going to be a fun race. I think those are the only 2 fun races, to be quite honest. I don't think anything's going to change in the National League. The Phillies have been dominant all year. Milwaukee with an 11-game lead there.
It's over.
The Padres are trying to make it interesting. Dodgers have lost 6 of the last 10, so let's see what can happen there. But I don't think they'll catch them. But yeah, I would say the Yankees, Baltimore, and then the Central in the American League as well.
Yeah, and you're looking at the wild card races, really, man. Detroit's only 2.5 back of the wild card. Seattle's only 2.5 back of the last wild card. It is crazy. Detroit's kind of had a nice go here in the second half, and then the National League, it's the Mets or Atlanta. Everybody else, the Cubs, St. Louis, they're all 6-7 back. Like they're not doing it. It's that last 2 spots really are going to come down to Arizona, Mets, Atlanta. The Padres are 2.5 up on everybody. So
it's yeah, they're all going to be battling for those last couple spots and then positioning to see who they wind up having to play.
these last 2 weeks of baseball are going to be interesting here as far as like to get into October. I mean, we're in the nitty gritty. Like, the marathon is about to end, and hey, it's these last 2 weeks for those teams. Like, hey, you got to win the series if you're every one of those teams that we just mentioned. Like, you got to take 2 out of 3. If you can get a sweep. But you control your own. I hate when people are like, oh, well, we need this. You control your own destiny first. If you don't handle your own business first, it don't matter. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. It's been fun. Saying props to Baltimore for playing the way they have all year. Kansas City, saying they didn't wind up fading. They continue to have a really good season. The Guardians, like we mentioned. The Phillies, dominant all year. Milwaukee still showing that even with getting rid of Corbin Burns, still one of the better teams in the National League is crazy to me, dude, how they just keep it going, Milwaukee. So props to them. It's been a fun ride. And, yeah, now we got the home stretch here these last couple of weeks to see who can get those last few spots, who can hold on to a division or not. Yes, it's going to be a fun 2 weeks of baseball to see how it ends.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. Real quick, there wasn't really any college football like upsets, but Florida State. People are calling for Norvell's job. You were down there in Florida. I know you're a Canes fan, but Norvell just could almost coach that team to the playoffs last year. I don't think that 0-3 is it time to fire him, or maybe it's just DJ Ugliade shouldn't be the quarterback.
I would go with the latter there. The coach obviously did something right by having the team undefeated, and I understand that they, the quarterback was good, obviously up until he got the horrible injury at the end of the season. But I think they committed to him for like another 5 years, bro. I think they owe him
somebody said his
$60
buyout was like
$70 million or something.
Yeah, it's
something crazy like that. So I think they kind of stuck with him, but they definitely need to do a better job of their recruiting this year coming up, or hitting that transfer portal to try to get a comparable quarterback that can actually make something happen. There's still good athletes on that team, so they did lose some players last year, in the draft. The one thing about college is you never know with these boosters, so they can just be like, nah, we gotta get this guy out of here. So I don't know. I would think that he's done a fairly good job as a coach, especially coming off of the undefeated season last year. But
yeah,
it just seems like right after that, right after they didn't make the college football playoff, like they got this destroyed in the bowl game.
To their defense, half their players sat out. So.
Right, yeah. But even that's not a good look. You know what I'm saying? The guys didn't even want to play. You know what I'm saying? And granted, I get it. You know what I'm saying? The ones that were going to go to the league or get drafted, I get it. But you know what I'm saying? Not all of those players that didn't play got drafted. Some of them just didn't want to play, which is saying that sucks. But to start off 0-3 is pretty freaking bad, especially down here. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens there. If they come out, if it winds up being a 1-9, 1-10, or 2, then I wouldn't be surprised. Like I said, these college boosters, they don't play, bro. They take that shit hella serious, especially when it comes down to to the South here with their football. So I would put it more on the quarterback, to be quite honest. But he's the one that got him.
Georgia had a scare yesterday too.
Yes.
13-12. They scored a late touchdown to beat Kentucky. Are any panic meter if you're a Bulldog fan? I don't think so. I just think a bad game. Kentucky's they're not the greatest team in the world, but a SEC team, kind of a rival type team. But 13-12 is interesting for Georgia.
Yeah, no, it was definitely scary for them, and they had to pull it out late, like you said. I would just call it one of those games. Sometimes you have to have that in one of your seasons to kind of wake your team up. So it is an SEC team at their house. So that stadium was rocking, with the Kentucky fans yesterday. So I would just put it on that. But again, this is a good welcome, wake up call for this team. So I expect them to come out real strong. I feel bad for whoever's on their schedule next week. Because if it's not one of the major ones, it's gonna get put on them pretty good.
Yeah.
But I like Georgia. They got a lot of talent. They're gonna be fine. I mean, I can think back to that 2001 team, the Miami team that was one of the best teams ever. Like they came so close to losing to Boston College in Boston College, and it took like a great play by Ed Reed. For them to win that game and to stay undefeated. So sometimes you get a scare like that early on in the season, but I think it'll actually help Georgia out going forward. Luckily, they were able to get the win. A loss would have sucked. But with the 12-team playoff, you can still kind of make up for it. You know what I'm saying? So if you get an early season loss, you can still turn it around. You can still turn your season around and end well to give yourself a chance. But that was clutch for them to come away with the win. Good teams find a way to win at the end if they have to, and they did that.
Yeah, definitely. We'll see what happens with them. I think they'll be fine in the future. Really.
I mean, that was basically it. Iowa State, your Iowa boys gave Iowa State a little bit of a scare. But that's, as far as the top 25, that seemed to be about as close as the game it is. I don't know if we lost our boy Nick or not, but I am going to try to keep it going here with the Are you there, Nick? Can you hear me? All right. Well, we might have lost Nick. We all know how his internet is, which my internet wasn't all that great either. But hopefully, we'll get Nick here in the next little bit. But as far as Georgia, again, I think they'll be fine going forward. Again, sometimes you need a scare like that to kind of wake your guys up, but I think they'll be fine. One thing I know he wanted to talk about was the whole Kendrick Lamar hosting the halftime show. I'm fine with it. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? I'm not one of the biggest pay attention to the halftime show, to be quite honest. Anyway, I know a lot of people were complaining that why it's not Lil Wayne because it's in New Orleans. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? And people are trying to hate on Jay-Z, saying that it's Jay-Z's fault, but I think it'll be an entertaining, halftime show regardless. I'm one of those. That's the time to like kind of relax and chill or whatever during the halftime show. I don't stress the halftime show all that much, but I think Kendrick will do a good job with that. I'm not going to get into my review. My review is not a movie this week, just so you know. Any superhero fans out there, I checked out the Batman Caped Crusader.
Go ahead. Hey, you good.
There he is. There he is. I was touching on the Kendrick Lamar halftime thing.
I was going to do that. I was going to talk about that. Yeah, I'm good with it. I hope he sings "Not Like Us" and that Drake has to go by his real name Aubrey for the rest of the time being and has to act, because if he sings "Not Like Us" at the halftime show, man, the only problem is like a lot of people said it's in New Orleans. No Lil Wayne, obviously.
Yeah, I mentioned that. Yeah,
you know what I mean. A legend in the rap game, a legend from New Orleans. I think Wayne can have. People got to realize. I had this discussion with a good friend of mine. Wayne is like, he's kind of unreliable at this point in his life. Like, you know what I mean? You're going to expect this man on national, like the biggest stage of the world. This man he misses up lines all the time. He's had
not only that, he may not even be interested in doing it.
He is. I think he came out and said he wanted.
Oh, he did come out and say it. So then, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they, get him up there for a cameo or something.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? But
I think so too.
I had just pointed out how people were like trying to like blame Jay-Z and say that Jay-Z just didn't want Wayne. Like Wayne's one of the best rappers.
He misses so many lines these days. Like the man has had too much lean. He is not. You know what I mean? I think he can make an appearance, absolutely. But to do a whole halftime show with Wayne would be a little bit. I think he's a little
risky.
Yeah.
Nah, I mean that makes total sense. I didn't even think about it in that angle. I didn't know about all that. But yeah, I mean,
have you heard Wayne talk? I can't understand a damn word he says anymore. So
no, I mean, no, I don't pay attention to a lot of this shit right now. But I mean, I understand people's desires to want Wayne because it's in New Orleans and he's one of the greatest ever. I get all that, but
we can have Kendrick up there too.
And Kendrick is the hot name right now. You know what I'm saying? Because of the, Not Like Us, stuff and his drama with Drake or whatever. So it makes sense. I think it'll be a fun show regardless. I wouldn't be surprised if Lil Wayne or some other guys, you know what I'm saying?
He'll have some people up there.
Yeah, he'll have some people there to represent New Orleans. So I don't think it's that big of a deal. Let's just, you know what I'm saying? Let's calm down. It's not a big conspiracy theory that Jay-Z just hating on Lil Wayne. No, man. I doubt it has anything to do with that, but it should be a fun show. I'm actually looking forward to it.
Did you want to hear real quick? We'll get into the movie review here.
Yeah, it's actually I had just started mentioning it when you came on. It's actually an animated series. It's a show on Amazon Prime. Batman Cape Crusader. It's like set in the 50s. The drawing and stuff, the animation is obviously, really, really well done. The stories are really well done. That's one thing that animated shows have over like the live action when it comes to superhero stuff, is that animated shows, like, they do the TV show right, where each episode is its own thing. And you know what I'm saying? And it ends well, whatever, with each episode, even if it leads to a bigger story at the end of that season. But each episode is its own episode, where live action is almost like they made a movie and then they just chop it up into episodes where, you know what I'm saying, the ending of each episode may not be the greatest or whatever. They did a really good job with this. Like I said, the animation and the graphics are really good. I like the little twist. They did a couple little twists and adjustments with some of the characters. It's already been picked up for a season 2. It's 10 episodes. It's a lot of fun. If you're a Batman fan or if you're a superhero fan at all, I would definitely recommend Batman Cape Crusader. I'd probably give it 3.5 out of 5 stars. It's pretty good. It entertained me, and I'm actually looking forward to season 2 comes out next year.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm probably not gonna check that out.
I know you're not into that shit. That's why
I like the live action stuff, but not the animated.
I do like the live action stuff. I just wish that they would take a note from the animated one, where if it's a TV show, be a TV show and make each episode its own thing. Even like I said, even if they connect, so that the end is the season is one story.
I guess
don't write it like a movie and then chop it up, because, like I said, then you end some of the episodes like abruptly and just don't be making sense and shit. So, but no, this is very well done. Great story. It was a lot of fun. Like I said, I'm looking forward to season 2.
So real quick, I did the album review of some guy named, I never really heard of him, LL Cool J. No, I'm just kidding. Obviously, LL is a absolute legend. And Johnny, this album is, masterful. Right. To me, it is the 80s, and LL's not out here trying to make love in this album, man. He
came ready to rock some bells.
Yes, he came to rock some bells. It is that the beats are 80-esque. I feel like the up-tempo beat. Him and Eminem got a joint together on there. It's really good. Him and Busta Rhymes got a joint on there as well. Let me look at the, because there's a couple songs I wanted to shout out real quick on that album.
That's good. And if you don't know, for the people out there, first of all, hit the subscribe button, smash that like, turn on your notifications. But yeah, LL Cool J is ladies love Cool James. Is what the LL Cool J is. If you didn't know that already, one of the pioneers of the hip hop and rap game. So I'm glad he put something out.
Yeah, it's almost 60 years old. Dude still got it. Still better than a lot of rappers. So the Eminem joint he's got is it's called Murdergram. He kills it on the song just called Divorce. That's with just him too. That album's obviously called Divorce. The Busta Rhymes is called Huey in the Chair. The beats on this, like The Vow, is good as well. He's got some good songs. The whole album is really good. He got the first joint, Spirit of Cyrus, with Snoop Dogg on there. It's so good. It takes you back in the day, and it's just complete. I told you I like bangers, man. LL hit a home run with this one, man. It's almost 5 stars, like 4.5 probably. Like it barely had. It's definitely. go back and you got to listen to this one.
Well, and that's my favorite kind of music. You know what I'm saying? I'm an old school head. I love all kinds of music. You know what I'm saying? Good music is good music. I always say that. But I tend to lean to more of the older shit. So if it's a flashback to like those type of beats and those types of styles, then oh yeah, I can't wait to check that out. I'm definitely checking that out.
Yeah, let's get into our top 5 this week. So we last week you did the Beetlejuice review. We've had a lot of sequels coming out. I feel like that's everything in the neighborhood these days is top sequels. So let's get into it. Our top 5 movie sequels. I don't know about you, but like I tried to like. A good sequel doesn't have to be better than the original. It just has to like continue the story, make it really good. Just as good as the original or almost as good. But that's how I viewed it as. Like it's hard to beat original, and there's few sequels that I'm sure we're going to talk about that I feel like is probably better than the original. But it doesn't have to be better than the original. It just has to be continue the storyline. Is that how you like a good sequel? Like that's what makes a good sequel.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I'm with you. There's a few that I think, in my opinion, the sequel was better than the original, which, like you mentioned, I'm sure we'll touch on. But yeah, it doesn't. Again, similar to like my judgment on Beetlejuice. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't better than the original. But it continued the story well. It was a fun time. You get lost in the world again. I enjoyed it. Is it one of the best sequels ever? No. But it was a lot of fun and I enjoyed it. But no, I'm interested to get into this list.
All right, let's go ahead. We'll jump into it. What's your number 5?
All right. Well, my number 5, because I didn't want to like implode this top 5 list with a bunch of like superhero freaking movies or whatever. So I just took one that was one of my favorite superhero movie. So I went with Dark Knight. That Batman series right there, that trilogy with Batman Begins, The Dark Knight, and then The Dark Knight Rises. The Dark Knight was the one with Heath Ledger as the Joker, and he just killed it. I could watch that movie anytime. If I catch it at any point in time while I'm flipping channels, I must just sit there and watch the rest of it. It's one of the best sequels made.
And your list, I got that pretty high on my list. So,
well, I mean, I'm a little older than you, but you know what I'm saying, and it battled with like you know what I'm saying, like I had you know what I'm saying, I had Captain America, Civil War, and you know what I'm saying, like I had the Infinity Saga and stuff, you know what I'm saying, with Thanos and stuff. Like there was a bunch, but I figured I love them all, but I figured the one that like will make my list is just Dark. You know what I'm saying, just his whole his Heath Ledger's performance in that is incredible in that movie. I love that movie a lot. It's very well done.
It is.
So I went with Dark Knight as my number 5.
Okay. So honorable mention here real quick, and you could probably throw out some honorable mentions at the end, but I had Infinity War, Avengers Infinity War, or is that Endgame? I don't really know.
Endgame would be the sequel to Infinity War, was the first one.
Yeah, well, I guess they're all kind of sequels to
right? And that's why it was like, I mean.
Yeah. So, but I'm gonna shout out to that whole like those three original, those three. But I'm gonna go my number 5 here, Lethal Weapon 2. I enjoyed that movie. I think it's actually almost better than the first one.
I forgot about that one, bro.
Yeah,
I'm ashamed of myself. I'm ashamed for my family. That's a good one.
Yeah, where they're like, there's so many iconic scenes, like when they're sitting on the toilet. They got to jump out the bomb squad. I actually enjoy, like I said, I enjoy Lethal Weapon 2 more than I enjoy Lethal Weapon, the original Lethal Weapon. So I got Lethal Weapon 2 as my number 5.
That's an actual really, really, really good one. I'm surprised that I forgot about that one. I actually like the original one a little bit better. But I love that second one. They did it really. I mean, they actually did a really good job with that whole series.
Yeah.
To be quite honest, the Lethal Weapon series. But no, that's an excellent one there. Good one.
Oh, what's your number 4?
My number 4 could very well be a lot of people's number 1s. But I went with The Godfather Part 2 as my number 4. A lot of people. This is one where I think it's slightly better than the original. because you had Robert De Niro in this one, and there was more of Michael Corleone in this one than the first one. I love the first one, but the second one was just like the way they went back and forth between shooting the flashbacks of a young Godfather with Robert De Niro was just.
I never saw Godfather 1 or 2.
You never saw either one of them?
Never seen a Godfather.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, I know you got your hands full with the fam and stuff like that, but whenever you have, you got to have like 6 hours.
If there's like
3 hours each,
like super like people that everybody like, that's one like, hey, I never got to it. Never got to it.
Yeah, you should. Yeah, those are two. Don't even bother with the third one. Honestly, you'll say. I mean, if you had all day, you say if everybody went away and you had the whole weekend to yourself and you just had 10 hours to burn, you know what I'm saying, then watch the third one. But if you have a chance to watch the first two, I would highly recommend both of them. But the second one, Godfather Part 2, is my number 4.
So it's a tie almost here. So I put them together as my number 4. Toy Story 2 and 3. That whole like Toy Story, the first 3, I didn't need the fourth one. The fourth one just does not add to the story. Right. But Toy Story 3, first of all, that's some shad ass shit. I would rather have them burn down in the when they're all burning down and holding hands than having to say goodbye to Andy, because like that was sad to me. Yeah. The so long partner in Toy Story 3 was, it gets me every time. And so yeah, Toy Story 3, Toy Story 2 is a great a sequel as well, but I almost like Toy Story 3 a little bit more than Toy Story 2. But yeah, Toy Story 3 and the Stinky Bear and everybody else. So lots of loving is my number 4. So
that's a great one. I'm loving your list, man. Like I said, what you're saying. So yeah, Toy Story. Those first 3 are all incredible. I love those movies. Yeah. Obviously, say with the kids, I watched them a lot. Like I've seen Toy Story a hella times, and Toy Story 2 is actually really, really good. My number 3 is, again, I'm rocking the hat right here with my Stormtrooper on it. My number 3 is the Empire Strikes Back. It's the second one of the original trilogy. It's my favorite Star Wars movie. You get more Darth Vader. In this one, you get the training with Luke and Yoda. You see Yoda for the first time in The Empire Strikes Back. So The Empire Strikes Back is again, that's my favorite Star Wars movie. And then honestly, just to throw it out there, my second favorite is actually Revenge of the Sith. So I'm an anti-villain person. I'm a Darth Vader fan. You know what I'm saying? So it's when the Empire has gotten their due or whatever, are actually my more favorite Star Wars movies. But The Empire Strikes Back was one of the best movies, so I got that as my number 3.
Yeah, my number 3 is a movie we've talked about here recently because you went and watched the prequel, and that's Aliens. Like I mean, just we talk about that action in that movie. I just rewatched it again. Like that movie was like it's damn near 40 years old, and it's still good. So
that was higher on my list.
Yeah. So I got Aliens as my number 3. So
well, I'm gonna just go ahead and agree with you on that one. I have it as my number 2.
Okay.
Aliens, yeah, and this is one of those cases where I think the sequel is better than the original. Yeah. And I know a lot of people are gonna hate on that because they love the original one or whatever, but what James Cameron did with that second one. The actors in it and stuff like that was just great. You get to see the damn Queen at the end. That's one of my all-time favorite movies ever, is Aliens. So yeah, that's definitely my number 2 sequel of all time is Aliens.
Yeah, my number 2 was the aforementioned Dark Knight. So yeah, you hit it. I mean it had
he
some
killed
great
it, bro. He killed it, bro.
Yeah, it's a classic. What's your number 1? I bet we have the same one.
It's T2, bro. It's Terminator 2. It's Terminator 2.
Yeah.
This is probably the greatest sequel ever. And I love the original Terminator. Again, I'm a little older than you. I love the original Terminator. You'll say it came out when I was about 10. it was freaking awesome. But T2 was just epic. I got to see it in the theater when it first came out. You know what I'm saying?
My dad took me to. That's probably why. And I was probably like 5 years old. So that's probably what starts.
You were 5, and I believe I was a freshman in high school. So that's the difference there. But Terminator 2 was awesome. You get Sarah Connor back. You get the young John, the liquid. You know, say the T-1000. That's a liquid version of it. He was great. That was just a whole bunch of fun. You throw a Guns N' Roses song in there. You know, saying you can never go wrong with that. Terminator 2.
Bad to the bone. You know what I mean?
Like, It's just that's a.
You had so many like epic scenes too. Yes. You know what I mean? Like, and there's so many like young liners, like the Hasta La Vista, like all that.
Even at the end, it you know what I'm saying? It jerks at your heartstrings with now I know why you cry. You know what I'm saying? And you're saying, and Sarah coming, cocking the shotgun with one arm. You know what I'm saying? Trying to that's my favorite. That's my favorite sequel ever. Shit, I might have to watch that bitch today.
Yeah, it's been a while since I watched it, but that's one of the, if not the best sequel all time. It's had so many good scenes. The dude from the running dude, like all that whole have you seen this boy? Like it's all of it's classic.
No, it's great. And actually there's a link there. The foster mom.
Yeah.
She's actually Reyes in Aliens.
Oh, okay.
She's the Spanish chick.
She is. You're right. Yeah, she's the badass. Yeah. You're right. Right.
Yeah, she's actually Irish and shit, and she's, you know what I'm saying, she was in Titanic. She's a great actress, you know what I'm saying, but she's actually in both of those. So my top 2 sequels ever have an incoming have a character, have an actress in both of them. So that's pretty cool.
Real quick, Scott said he hit 3 or 4 on his right here, the UFC. I wanted to get this dump this out real quick before we get out of here. Scott hitting the 3 of the 4 of the bets. The UFC last night was at the Sphere, Johnny. Incredible. Like the fights were okay. Like they dragged on a little bit. There are a lot of decisions, but the spectacle that was the Sphere, I alluded it to because like every fight was like they were in a different world. And they had like many movies like going on in between the fights and stuff, talking about the Hispanic heritage. Nice. The UFC crushed it out of the park. It was like I equivalent to like Mortal Kombat type vibes, like because where each fight was like going into a different world, like they had a different background on the videos, like the visual, the screens and stuff. Man, it was cool. Like one of the best like viewing experiences, that you could watch, and you had fights. So it was like reminding me of like literally like. The first fight, I was like, "Oh, this shit's like Mortal fucking Kombat!" Like, going into all these different worlds. So,
that's awesome. I'm gonna have to check it out. I got the replay stuff on the Fire Stick. That's why I love the Fire Stick, bro. So I got the replay. I could definitely check it out. I didn't get a chance. Did the Sugar Kid win?
Lost.
He lost.
It looked bad.
So is it an upset?
Not really.
He was defending his title, wasn't he?
Yeah. A lot of people thought Merab could win. I went back and forth. I picked Sugar, but I knew a long time ago Merab could win because he just has so much pressure and he just kept dumping O'Malley out, just wrestling and Sean just looked slow and flat. Like even Dana said that. I didn't feel like he wasn't throwing enough. And it's hard to throw, and keep somebody at distance when they're right at you, in your face, and then dumping you on the ground.
Is that the first time they've fought?
Yeah.
So we definitely gonna get a rematch, right?
I don't know. Like, not immediate rematch. It seems like there's this guy named Umar. He's Khabib's. I'm sure you're familiar with Khabib. Mm-hmm. It's Umar. Umar's like his cousin, and he's coached by Khabib, and he is the next guy up. So it looks like they're gonna do Merab and Umar. Both kind of heavy wrestlers. Dana's, there's I'll get into tune into Head Kicks and Haymakers. We'll get into more of that of Dana's aspect and how he might not be happy. But Yeah, Sean, who knows what it'll be for Sean, whether he could be done at bantamweight, move up to featherweight. He is tall and lanky.
Nice.
Could pack on 10 more pounds and fight at 145 instead of 135. But or he could stay at 135, but he's going to need to win one more before he hits immediate title rematch. Long title rematch. He'd have to defend the title a few more times before he got like immediate.
Okay.
But,
all right, so it's not in like in boxing that way where usually the champ will get an immediate rematch.
It's usually it has to be like a long-standing person who's had the title for a while, or there had to have been like a draw or something like controversial for them to want to run it back. Typically, Sean only defended the belt one time, and he won that.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, he won that fight. He won that fight, but this fight wasn't close at all. It was Merab from bell to bell from all 25 last night.
Just owned him. He just owned him.
There was at the very end of the 5th round last night, probably a minute and a half left. He kind of hurt Merab to the body a few times, but he didn't pour it on him. Right. And that was the only, maybe if you could have gave that round, that 5th round to Sugar. Other than that, it was Merab. I had Merab just every round.
Okay.
So it wasn't even close. Not even a close fight.
Okay. And you heard them, people. Wednesday nights. Head kicks and haymakers.
Right here. Check out Head Kicks and Haymakers. Other than that, we'll be back tonight, Johnny, for our NFL Week 2 recap show, 7 o'clock Central, 8 Eastern. So other than that, be a friend, tell a friend, folks. We'll catch you right back here tonight. 7 Central, 8 Eastern for NFL Week 2. We'll give out our dogs and turds. I saw Scott. I don't know if you gave out a pre-dog. I hope it's Brandon Jacobs for the Packers. That's who I hope is my pre-dog. I need him to rush for about 150 yards and 2 touchdowns and Green Bay wins. But hey, we'll see. So, I don't have high hopes. But
oh shit.
We'll catch you guys back here later tonight. See y'all.
Peace.